Matrix. Whoa.
And scene. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 105 of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. Kyle, good to see you as always. How are you tonight?
Nice to see you too. I'm doing great. It's Sunday night. I'm just relaxing. Classic Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. Nice little. This is a rarity though that we do like a Sunday edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. We usually don't do weekend editions of the show, but you know what?
Usually it's
we
like
thought,
midweek,
what the hell? Might as well just do it.
Just do it. Just
as
like Nike says.
Nike says, yeah, I was just thinking that. Hey, we are a sports show, so it's fitting that we're dropping sports sayings in there. But, so this one's going to differ a tiny bit from our usual format, because we've done a format like this a couple times in the past. Kyle and I actually just came back from good old TD Garden in Boston. No, we were not at a Bruins or Celtics game, but we were actually at a high school hockey state championship game. As today, not only is the St. Patrick's Day parade in South Boston, but it was also the high school hockey state championship. 6 games to crown the ultimate championship warriors in high school hockey in the state of Massachusetts. And Kyle and I took in game number 5 of the 6, as it was the Division I boys championship game with Framingham taking on St Mary's of Lynn. A bit of a sort of tie-in for us personally. Framingham actually is part of the same conference as our alma mater, Wellesley, which is part of the reason why we decided to go to this game. And so, Kyle, let's jump right into it here. St. Mary's took home the victory by the final of 4-2. But give me sort of your impressions and thoughts on the game, because despite a 2-goal loss, it didn't seem like Framingham did give a great effort, and it was actually a very fun game to watch.
It was tough for Framingham. I feel like mostly in the first 2 periods. Like, you know, they're called the Spartans. I'm thinking like 300. Remember that scene where
St. Mary's is called the Spartans.
St. Mary's is called this. Yeah, exactly. So you know how like in 300 the king of the Spartans, Leonidas, just goes over and just kicks that guy down in that big giant black hole pit thing. That's kind of what it was like. No offense to Framingham, a little bit at first, but then in the third period they really came back. I feel like they really like showed a lot of effort.
Yeah, and it was interesting, just to sort of recap here, the game was scoreless at the end of the first period.
Yes.
Then St. Mary's came out and scored in the first minute of the second period, and then scored 2 more goals in the final 2 minutes of the second period to take a 3-0 lead after 2. Then they come out in the third period and score another goal to make it 4-0. It's like, oh boy, they're running away with this one. But like you said, credit to Framingham, because they battled to the very end and were actually able to put 2 goals in the final few minutes to make it a 4-2 game. And they actually, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because they actually had several different other opportunities to put goals in. I mean, obviously, St. Mary's goaltender played very well, keeping a 2-goal game, because Framingham could have easily had another goal or 2. So it wasn't as lopsided as one might think looking at a score like that.
Actually, no, that's true. That's a very good point. A lot of times, like, teams would lose that momentum.
But sort of quit throwing the white flag almost. Yeah, but Framingham didn't do that. They continued to battle. Let's talk about the atmosphere, because it was a great crowd on hand for both teams. A lot of student support. You love to see like the student sections at the games, and both towns had, very good support. And we were sitting sort of more on the Framingham side, and it was pretty packed over there. So it was good to see, both teams' crowds come out and support them in that big a game. By the way, Framingham is called the Flyers. I did not mention that earlier, but it's the Framingham Flyers and the St Mary Spartans. But it was a good. On all seriousness, it was a really good crowd. So good to see all that support from the other teams.
That was awesome, yeah.
Yeah, and just talk about what it was like. You and I went to. Kyle were talking about this before, but Kyle actually did go to a high school championship game at the Garden a few years back. We saw Franklin and Wilmington play at TD Garden. That was exciting. And then I've actually announced on State Championship Sunday the last 3 years as the Wellesley High girls hockey team was making their run of 3 consecutive state finals appearances. Yeah, I mean that was pretty sick. I mean, just watching your high school team play at the Garden is cool enough, but to be up like in the announcers area and like announce the game is a really really cool thing. But just sort of talk about like I said, just sort of talk about what it was like for you. I know you had said you hadn't been to a hockey game in a while, but just being at the TD Garden watching. I mean, it's not very often that you get to go see a game at the Garden for $11 or
seriously.
So just sort of talk about that, sort of being at the Garden.
I mean, it was nice. Like it just kind of had this like you said, it had this kind of nice atmosphere, kind of warmer than the usual crowd. No offense to the Boston fans or anything, but
it was a good crowd, a good atmosphere, and. Was fun to be a part of, and a big congratulations to St. Mary's, who actually made it. One thing I didn't touch on earlier, they actually made it to the state finals a year ago and lost in overtime to Franklin. Speaking of Franklin, lost in overtime last year to Franklin. So a bit of redemption for the Spartans this year as they're finally able to take home that title. So
it was good for them,
congratulations. Any final thoughts?
No, it was just a fun game to watch. I do feel bad for Framingham because well, in both teams' cases, they both fought really hard to get to this spot. But at the end of the day,
just the journey to get to a state championship game is it's tough enough just to make it there, but to win on that stage is just daunting. And so it's just both teams should be applauded just for getting
exactly.
To that point. I mean, they worked extremely hard all year, and they both deserve to be there.
Yeah. So hopefully Framingham isn't too down on themselves, for the loss. I mean,
I'm sure that they're disappointed. I mean, obviously, when you lose in the state finals, it's not a good feeling. But the fact that you got there, that'll be years from now. They'll sort of look back on that. And that'll be what they remember. So just the fact that they got to that point. So again, congratulations to St. Mary's on the state championship, and congratulations to Framingham on a great season, a great tournament run, and very represent the Bay State Conference with pride and with class all the way through. So. Like I said, congratulations. And one other quick shout out, now that we're talking about championships, I actually want to give a shout out to a team that won a bit of a higher prize, but the Babson College men's basketball team last night captured the school's first ever national championship for Division III, beating Augustana and Salem, Virginia, to win by 1 point to win the national championship game. And so I just want to say congratulations to the Beavers on a job well done. I had a chance to see them in both their early NCAA tournament rounds prior to the Final Four, and always a fun take, growing up very close to the campus there, and I know they made it to the Final Four a couple years ago and lost in the semifinals, but this year they were able to get a victory in the semifinals, and they go on and get a victory in the finals. So just a really, really great accomplishment. Their coach's name is Stephen Brennan, and who I actually did a basketball camp with way back in middle school. So kind of a fun little tidbit there. But yeah, congratulations, Babson, on your national championship and bringing an NCAA championship back to New England, back to Massachusetts. So very well done.
Rock
You
on.
got anything else?
No.
All right.
That's it for me.
Sounds good. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. Thank you, as always, for joining us. As always, he's Kyle. I'm Robbie. We will see you next time for episode number 106. Goodbye. Kyle and I just came back from the TD Garden in Boston. No, we were not at a Bruins or Celtics game, but actually a high school hockey state championship game. That's right, the MIAA state hockey.
Third world democracy got more records than the KGB. So
you did that. You literally did that while we were at the game, and it was funny that it's got old after 2 times. It's got old.
No funny business.